Hi everyone, Stone Thinny Stone Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of this new Baroness record, Stone. This is a new LP from sludge and stoner metal veterans, Baroness, who have been an operating metal outfit for like 2 decades now. And this record arrives at an interesting point in their catalog, as they're pretty well known for their discography up until this point, being this color-coded series of albums: blue, green, yellow, red, purple. Their last kind of double LP, Gold and Gray, was like a replacement for kind of doing an orange album. And I guess this new LP sees the band kind of transitioning out of this series, maybe embarking on a new chapter with Stone. But when I've actually dug into the record, I don't feel like what the band offered here musically was super refreshing. It mostly just feels like a lesser version of the vaguely heavy prog that they've been trying to sell us on for their past couple of records, especially on Gold and Gray, where they did cover a lot of stylistic bases on that project admirably. But that LP also kind of saw the band stretching themselves a bit too thin creatively. Plus, it didn't really hold a candle to the electrifying sludge the band came onto the scene with in the mid-2000s. On first glance, though, Stone does look a lot more condensed than Gold and Gray. There's no double album bloat here or anything like that. But still, this project does kind of lack the punch that you would expect from a metal record that rounds out at about 45 minutes. Whether it be because of weak production, like in the case of Last Word, where the vocal layering, despite it being stacked so high, it falls so flat. Plus, the guitar solo on this track sounds like it was recorded in a green room shower stall. So yeah, weird production choices and also weak songwriting ideas too. Like Under the Wheel, which is a moody number with some fiery and heavily layered guitar passages that are pretty spicy, definitely one of the more tingly sounds in the mix on the entire record. Beyond that, I'm hearing a lot of propulsive riffs, some manly, shouty vocals calling out into the oblivion, some expressive drum fills too, and these are all good things which would be great additions to a memorable song, which is the issue with this track. I hear movement. It feels like the band is, jamming together pretty well. They're going through the motions effectively, but there's not a song at the core of this track that brings it all together and kind of leaves me with a memory of it. So again, while in a sense there is somewhat of a direction to what's going on, there's not really a destination in mind. And of course, more forgettable writing and questionable mixing crops up deeper into the record. There's choir, which I love the flawless and tight transition from the previous track into this one. It really kind of shows the band was caring at least a little bit about the macro picture of this album and how these songs came together overall. But for sure, the dramatic narrations drenched in these doubled up vocal layers on this track sound horrible and are just, to put it bluntly, obnoxious. And while I love that Anodyne does bring some of the heaviest and chunkiest riffs on the entire project, the band ultimately fails to pair these guitars with a vocal melody or some leads that really kind of feel like they stick out. Whether that be just in a generally catchy way or in a way that feels new and, I guess, significant in Baroness's overall discography, because, sadly, this song does kind of serve as a reminder that at one time the band did actually put out some hard-hitting stuff, around the red and blue era, but that's just not really the case on this record. Sadly, most of the material in the final leg of this project is just a tedious slog, and really the only tracks I came out of this album enjoying all the way through were one, the single Beneath the Rose, which is a great highlight on this project, but also kind of contributes to my overall disappointment with the record, because while I do find it kind of surprising that the band does this 90s alt metal thing on the track with their guitar playing and also some of the spoken word passages. The multiple phases within the song too are kind of sick and progressive as well. I like the dynamics and versatility of the track. It really feels like Baroness is breaking themselves out of their comfort zone on this one, and it's just kind of shocking that much of the record doesn't really follow this song's lead. The band really gave us the most daring moment on the record as a single, and again, it's just a little shocking and disappointing to hear that they didn't want to experiment more or try anything else all that new for the rest of the album. The other track I got quite a bit out of on the project was, miraculously, the acoustic closer, which is a super gentle, unassuming, folksy ballad with some great, soft, gentle, dreamy vocal harmonies. Some decent lyrics too. I mean, it serves as a cool little oasis at the end of the record. Kind of surprising, but yeah, one of my favorite moments on this metal album ended up being like, you know, the acoustic outro. And overall, I'm just kind of at a loss with this one, honestly. It feels like Baroness attempted to launch a new direction, a new something here, but they just kind of ended up repeating themselves a little bit and failing to make a lot of these new ideas sound exciting. It's got me worrying if from this point are we just going to continue seeing diminishing returns from the band's work as they push forward. I'm feeling a strong 4 to a light 5 on this one. Transition, have you given this album a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like. Please subscribe and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well. Over here next to my head is another video you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Baroness, forever.